saw a certain book that I wasn't ready to read at the time, but I think I'm ready. I wanted to see if you guys still had it in stock.
Yeah, what was the title?
It starts with an N. I don't remember the author.
You don't know the title of the book either?
Well, it starts with an N, and there's kind of there's a vowel, there's consonants, there's a vowel. It's one word.
It's
there's a vowel, there's consonants, there's a vowel. It's one word.
I don't know how to look up without the title or the author.
Well, it's got kind of, so it starts with an N, and then there's kind of an I there.
We've got thousands of books, but I don't really know how to look it up and just knowing the first two letters.
It's N-I, it's the N-I, it's the G is in there, and there's another one.
On a brief hold and go check. Thanks for holding. I'm not seeing anything. Maybe try to think of the title if you can.
Well, sorry. I know the title. I can't say the title. I don't know. I don't think you could say it either. So I don't. It's a triggering title. Actually, it rhymes with trigger actually, and so. But that's what I was wondering if it was there.
I didn't see it when I just went and looked.
Okay, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's that book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good day.
The unsealing of a 3-count indictment charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
This is the type of indictment you would expect from someone in the mafia.
They start making this case, in my opinion, as a takedown of a successful black man.
The freak-off sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers.
I've spoken to about a half a dozen of these different men involved, and I asked them, was there any indicia of lack of consent? And they said, absolutely not.
And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs. More than 1,000 bottles altogether.
How do you explain 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
He has a big house, he buys in bulk. I think they have Costco's in every place where he has a home. Have you sat in the parking lot of a Costco and see what people walk out of there with?
Not 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
When I saw the video with Cassie running for her life, I cried my eyes out. We show that video over and over and over about what happens to women that won't change their stories.
Combs did not do this always.
If there are higher up people that are still famous right now that are on these videos, Hollywood is going to just implode.
Does this compel you to put him on the stand?
I don't know that I can keep him off the stand. I think he is very eager to tell his story. We have obtained video of Diddy's arrest on Monday night. And I have to say, he was blindsided.
Sean Diddy Combs was taken into federal custody in New York. This according to TMZ.
We're told it happened in a Midtown Manhattan hotel where Combs had been staying. And according to sources talking to TMZ, this actually came a day earlier than originally expected.
The world-famous Sean Diddy Combs is expected to be arraigned on federal charges this morning following a grand jury indictment.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
Diddy, among other things, he has been accused of sex trafficking, engaging in conspiracy to foster prostitution, racketeering, kidnapping, narcotics offenses, arson, bribery. That is the beginning.
The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses.
The indictment alleges some of Combs' employees helped set up freak-offs in which women were forced into sex acts with male prostitutes.
And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs. More than 1,000 bottles altogether.
Prosecutors now say when this notorious video was taken, Cassie was actually fleeing a wild freak-off.
I mean, this has gotten very, very scary. Hollywood's in trouble. Hip-hop and R&B is in trouble.
Sean Diddy Combs has pleaded not guilty to several federal charges. We are learning in just the last few minutes that a federal judge is now refusing to grant Sean Diddy Combs bail.
He is going to be behind bars until his trial begins, whenever that is.
Sean Combs really fought to stay out of this place where his attorney called conditions horrific, but the judge sent him back, finding Diddy a danger to women.
We're appealing the decision to hold him without bail.
TMZ is also reporting Diddy was placed on suicide watch at the detention center that he's being held at in New York.
Your reaction to this really stunning indictment?
I'm very surprised, Harvey, that you say you're stunned. What, you need another decade of Sean, a.k.a. Puffy, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. Love Combs, brutalizing women, stunning? I'm only stunned it took so long.
Diddy has dodged a lot of legal bullets in the past. Does this one feel different to you?
It does. This one feels different. As you know, Harvey, you don't have the feds raid your homes unless they have something of substance, something significant.
Federal law enforcement agents have raided properties owned by musician and producer Sean Diddy Combs.
There's got to be something there in order for them to put themselves in a position with someone who is so powerful, who can retaliate, who has the authority and the means to be able to fight cases. To put yourself in that position, there must be something there. Let's switch our focus to the government. In my opinion, I'm just going to say it the way it is. No friend historically of the successful black man. Okay? None. And they start making this case, in my opinion, as a takedown of a successful black man.
I think what is interesting and what was surprising to me was when I read the indictment, and I looked at the count, which is the sex trafficking count, sex trafficking by force, coercion, and fraud. It only names one victim.
Hey, Cassie, how are you? How do you feel about all the allegations with Diddy going on right now?
And I believe that's Cassie, his longtime girlfriend. It only names that one victim, where there's so many women who've come forward with civil claims, looking for money, making allegations against them. Now, there's only one named victim in that count, and that's the count that everyone seems to be talking about, that he's involved in sex trafficking and he's using force and coercion. It's one named victim in that count, and that's surprising to me considering the amount of alleged victims there are in this case.
Do you think the fact that your client is a very big celebrity played a part in the Fed's decision to indict him?
I think it played the biggest part. I think it played a prominent part. I think that if he's not a big celebrity, he's just going about his life, without interference from the U.S. government.
Even though a lot of people now claim that they basically had knowledge of this, and it certainly was whispered about prior to becoming common knowledge, I do think that it's probably one of the most seismic events in history of the government.
I have never read 14 pages that contain so many shocking information and allegations.
This is the type of indictment you would expect from someone in the mafia,
underground. Diddy operated way above ground for 16 years, according to the feds. And there were maybe whispers about this, but none of this came to light.
The reality is, Diddy has had run-ins with the law several times, and it seems he always has gotten away with it. So this was really just a build-up. He was, of course, going to operate in plain sight because nothing ever happens to him until now.
I guess I'd say America loves the story of a good ride. America loves the story of a huge fall. And this is certainly up there, you know, with any that we've seen. But, you know, I certainly didn't have any of this stuff on my bingo card. Covering Puffy for, you know, over a decade. There's a lot you can say about the guy, but, you know, this stuff just didn't come up in my reporting. And I think it took all of us by surprise.
Am I surprised by the allegations? No. These are rumors that have been floating around the industry for decades now. You know, some people have seen them firsthand. Some people have just heard about them, you know, directly. But many of us who've been in the music industry or music industry adjacent have been aware of Puff's behavior for many years.
Freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant.
They called them freak-offs. But, you know, back when I was a kid in the late 70s, they were called threesomes. This was, you know, with the woman that was his woman at the time. And allegedly a third person. I've spoken to about a half a dozen of these different men involved, and I asked them, was there any indicia of lack of consent? And they said, absolutely not. We would never have gone forward a single step had it seemed like anybody in that room was not consenting. Was anyone high, too high? Was anyone drunk? No one was too high, no one was too drunk.
If these are genuinely threesomes, how do you explain 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
I don't know where the number 1,000 came.
The U.S. Attorney said it.
I can't imagine it's thousands. I mean, you know, and I'm not really sure what the baby oil has to do with anything.
They're essentially saying it's a lubricant for an orgy.
I guess. I don't know what you need 1,000. One bottle of baby oil goes a long way. I don't know what you need 1,000 for. I mean, he has a big house. He buys in bulk. You know, I think they have Costco's in every place where he has a home. I mean, have you sat in the parking lot of a Costco and see what people walk out of there with?
Not 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
I don't think it was 1,000. I think it was. Let's just say it's a lot. Okay.
The U.S. Attorney has said that the freak-off parties are going to be the core of this case. I've covered a lot of cases in my day. I cannot think of a single one that is more salacious than United States versus Sean Combs. I cannot think of anything that even comes close.
I can't either. And, you know, again, if we start hearing the details of what went down at these parties, I mean, I remember back in the day the allure of a Diddy white party.
You're gonna hear about my party, they're gonna be shutting them down, they're gonna probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things.
Everyone wanted to be there. It was so secretive. And to know that these parties will be on Front Street, we are going to hear what happens, not just at these parties, but obviously these after parties. I kind of